Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 14th of January 2018. My name is Kralizec and my second host name is Tygergamer. Hello Tiger, how are you?
Great, how about you?
I'm doing swell, thank you for asking. So this is pretty much our first podcast this year, the regular one.
Yep, sure is.
So you got any interesting wishes for what you would like to see in gaming for 2018?
No, I do not. What about you?
I do have one. It's not what would I like to see, it's more what would I like to not see. Would like to not see any more loot boxes appear in gaming.
Yeah, true.
But somehow I'm sort of doubtful that that will actually happen.
Yeah, me too.
Because, well, as we will see in the news section, actually companies are planning more loot boxes. Damn.
Yeah.
They will never learn.
Nope.
Well, either way, what have you been playing during the holidays and the past weeks? Anything interesting?
Well, one game I tried out was a game called Little Red Lie.
What's it about?
It's pretty much like a visual novel type game where you play like two different characters. They pretty much just lie to everyone and in every conversation that they have.
Okay. And what's the point of the game then? Just to lie to everybody?
Yeah, from what I've played, yeah.
That sounds on one hand pretty entertaining, especially if it's done in a comedic sort of way.
Yeah.
Is it comedic or is it more serious?
I would say half and half.
Interesting. So you just indulged yourself in some storytelling.
Yeah.
Cool. Would you give the game a pass? A recommendation?
It only costs like $10, so yeah, if you have the time, I'd give it a recommendation.
Well, what system
if
is
you
it
like
on?
visual novel type stuff. It's on PS4, Vita, and PC.
Interesting. I'm personally not a big fan of visual novels. You know, if anything, I'll just buy a comic book. Be done with it.
Yeah.
In either way, I would still prefer a book to even a comic book. So, I don't know. I'm just more sort of a words kind of guy rather than images. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I personally haven't played much either in the past. So it was a Christmas. So nobody was releasing anything after 24th and 25th because if you did, you're a dumbass.
Yes.
And the same thing can be said for the past 2 weeks. Like, releases aren't even coming the next week really in any sort of big way. It's everything will start end of January, and from there on we can see more bigger releases coming out. Not even bigger releases, just releases that aren't shitty, tiny little games. But I did manage to play 2 games. I managed to fully play out Rumu. And man, was I not... I wasn't at all prepared for the emotional journey it took me on. For a game about a vacuum cleaner. If anybody's interested, I have a full Let's Play on my personal channel. But yeah, that game surprised the hell out of me. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be some puzzle game about how you must get to different places so you can vacuum. Not at all. This is fully about the story. And it's done wonderfully. I pretty much cried when the game ended. The story ended in such a way that it made me cry. But not like in a bad way sort of cry, just, you know, with... I would call it sad happiness or happy sad. One of those. I'm honestly not sure which one of those it is.
Okay.
Highly recommended. Very nice graphics, awesome music, and just amazing voiceover. I really hope that the person who did the voiceover for this gets more jobs, because the voice of the artificial AI was just, on one hand, it was really calm, really nice whenever it should be, and then there were the moments where it just sort of went crazy, and then you were literally frightened of it, like scared you almost shat yourself. That was just awesome.
Wow.
So it's not the cheapest game. It's, I think, $30 right now. So, and it's pretty short. It will take you 4, maybe 5 hours. But if you don't mind spending a little bit more on a game just to enjoy its story, and it doesn't have much replayability to it, because even when it comes to like conversations, you can just most of the time choose both options, try everything out, and it doesn't really change the, like, what the ending will be or anything. But yeah, highly recommend it. If $30 is too much for you, just wait for a sale and then buy it. I think once it gets under $20, it will be a recommendation from me to anyone who just likes stories. And then I tried one more game. It's called...
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, highly recommended. I wish that this sounds like a great game for the Switch, because it doesn't really require super powerful hardware. And, and just playing like 20 minutes at a time can be more than enough, and then would last you like at least a week. But the other game I played from the new ones is called Speedball Arena. This is a blatant ripoff of Rocket League, like complete. The colors, the color scheme is exactly the same. Some sound effects are exactly the same. I mean, like literally ripped off out of Rocket League and put into this game. So there are a few differences. So the game actually seems slower, even though it's saying like you're traveling at few hundred miles per hour, but the game seems much slower. And the key difference is that you have a hook that you try to use to get the ball to yourself, and you can use it to move faster around the map. The only reason I picked this up is because it is also meant for virtual reality. And that seemed like an interesting concept. Like, if they use their own graphical assets, change, obviously, the sound effects, like, they wouldn't just be blatant ripoffs, it could be an interesting thing. And because it's meant for VR, I actually understand why it is slower. Because, well, can you imagine playing Rocket League in VR at the speed it is?
No, I cannot.
How long until you would puke?
Not long.
Like 27 seconds, I would guess. would be for me.
But I could imagine what Rocket League in VR would look like.
Really crazy. That's my assumption. I think Rocket League would be an amazing VR game to spectate, not to play, because it's so fast.
Yes.
But yeah, that's why I tried it out. For the moment, pass, just because it's so blatantly ripped off. But if anybody wants to come in and make a proper game out of this and not just rip off assets from other games, yeah, that might be interesting. Might be something I would like to try.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I played. Because there was so little games that came out, actually. I actually got to play for fun once, not for a job. So I decided I would replay Gothic 3. Do you know the Gothic series?
I've heard you talk about it in the past, so...
Yeah, it's an RPG series,
And
very similar to like
yeah,
Oblivion. It came at the same time as Oblivion. It was its like prime competitor, but the difference is that in Gothic you actually have a story based around a pre-made character. So you don't create a character at the beginning, you just get one, and he has a backstory associated with him from the previous iterations of the game. And you know what to expect from him. Obviously, you can still be a good guy or bad guy depending on what you want or what you played in the past and how you want to play it. But it isn't as much free as the Elder Scrolls series is, but it is pretty similar.
yeah,
Especially in the terms of how many bugs are there in it. Like, uh, people like to make fun out of Skyrim, like out of the bugs you can find in the Elder Scrolls series. But
yeah,
games from Piranha Bytes, which is the creator of the series, and also games like Horizon, Arcania, and their newest title, Alex, they're just famous for being buggy as hell. The thing is, their fans just don't matter. It's an open world game
yeah,
with a set story. It's not like here's a sandbox where you can do anything. This is more of a okay, so this is a sandbox, but you cannot do this and this and this and this and this. And people who actually like to have these sort of walls there, and I guess I can be counted among them, we just like Piranha Bytes games, to be honest. And it was a nice nostalgia. Cool. It was nice nostalgia. Just the game doesn't look great these days. For some reason, I still get occasional lags in it, even on my $2,000 PC, because the game is just so poorly optimized.
Well, yeah.
What do you?
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this though, and even though it doesn't look as great as games today, and the performance is not as great, do you still have fun playing it?
Yeah, and that's the main point. If you're having fun, then it's nice. The only thing I completely forgot, I was so used to it in the old days, that's quick saving. I completely got out of there because nowadays every game quick saves for you every 5 minutes. Here it's not the case. If you don't save your game for 2 hours and you die, well, that means you lost 2 hours of progress. So I had to get back into the habit of after every single thing you do, you have to push F5. Because and the game is not easy. I'm playing it even like on normal difficulty, and every day when I play, I die at least 2 or 3 times because I just make a stupid mistake. I finally yesterday have gotten the skill that makes you not die when you fall. So I cannot die anymore from falling. That will prevent about 1/3 of my deaths. But still, it's just so. And you can die you can die very easily in the beginning of the game. Like you meet your first wolf and you die because you don't know how to fight him. And wolves are like the easiest enemies here, apart from critters.
Wow.
Yeah, this is just great memories. It's not like Dark Souls levels of difficulty. It's more like the old days of difficulty where the game was just like, you know what? Here's a game. Either you're good enough or you're bad and you will not pass.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Though I'm starting to get to the point where I'm pretty powerful, so I can pretty much beat anything if I take my time. Apart from anything that uses magic, as magic is insanely overpowered in this game, but it's super hard to get to it. If you decide your focus will be on magic, the first 30 hours of the game you will fight by running, drinking potions, casting one spell, running, drinking a potion, casting one spell, run, drink a potion, and cast a spell. That will literally be what you're doing, because a spell can easily take half of your mana bar at the beginning of the game. So if anybody's looking for a bit of nostalgic RPG and they don't want to play Oblivion or Morrowind or even Skyrim again and again and again, Gothic is a good choice. You just have to be prepared for few bugs inside a game. Also, if you know, in today's in games, if you want to attack a person who's important for a quest, it will not allow you to kill him. Here, if you kill him, well, bollocks, you will not get to finish that quest anymore. Okay, did you play anything like just out of nostalgia, something you just wanted to play and wasn't like really new?
Trying to think. I've played, in terms of that, I've played a lot this past week. I think of some. Oh yeah. I've been doing a Let's Play on the Kingdom Hearts series, so I've been playing that on nostalgia.
You know, that series always was so weird to me. Like, you're playing this anime game and suddenly there's Mickey Mouse. And I was like, the first time I remember seeing Kingdom Hearts was actually in a music video. It was like It was like in high school. That's, guess about 10 years ago. Oh, that's a long time since I was in high school. I'm old. But either way, I used to be a big Linkin Park fan. I wanted to show like a song to my friend, so I was searching on YouTube, and somebody like remade little bits of Kingdom Hearts to add to the music of the Linkin Park song, and it started with this all anime shit, and everybody's like, "Oh, that looks cool," and suddenly there was Goofy. And we were like, "What is this?" Oh, so we looked at, the description was, "The footage has been taken from the game Kingdom Hearts," and we're like, "What the fuck is that game?" So we looked it up, played it a bit, and we were like, "Man, this game is super weird."
It is weird, but it's also great.
Yeah, as far as I understand, it's one of the better ones. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, like the best way I can describe it is, you come for the Disney characters, but you stay for the overarching story in the series.
Yeah, I think it's a great game to like introduce small children to more serious games. Because you can get them into the game with like, but there's Mickey Mouse in it. And they'll be like, "Yay, Mickey Mouse!" And suddenly they're exploring the universe.
Yep.
Anything else that was nostalgic for you?
Nope.
Okay, then I guess it's time to move on to the news of the past week. So, let's begin with a report conducted by Steam Spy, which, if anybody doesn't know, is a site where you can just go and it sort of accumulates data based off of Steam, like sales, new gaming releases, who plays what, etc., etc. And they have conducted a study, just a report, showing off how many games have been released on Steam the past year. So the precise number is 7,672 games in 2017. By the way, this means on average that's 21 games a day. So quite obviously, the gaming industry is booming. I would guess many other games are being released for PlayStation, for Xbox, for Nintendo. So I would guess there was at least 10,000 games released in 2017 altogether. Not counting in mobile games, as I think the number would get probably close to 20,000 at the very least.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're looking to come into the gaming market, I'm going to say maybe you're late, actually, at this point. I wonder like how many movies were released in 2017. Let me try to Google it. How many movies were released in 2017? So there's just a list here, but I don't see like a number. Even though the list actually looks pretty similar, and I'm going to guess it includes a lot of documentaries, etc. So I think we actually might be coming to a day where the number of movies and games is starting to be pretty similar. Okay, here's one more. Okay, so it's not even comparable. Number of feature films released in the United States cinemas in 2016 was slightly above 700, about 730, 40. So that's insane. In UK, it was slightly over 800 because they also get like European films. Yeah, and you know every country will have their own share of movies made in their own language, etc., etc. So, you know, in total it might be similar, but for big movies and big games, I think the numbers will be close to equal at this point. Man, those numbers are insane. Also,
yeah, it is.
Just to showcase the growth. So 2017 it was 7,600 games. In 2016 was 4,200 games. So that's about a 50% increase in games in 1 year. And between 2015 and 2016, the difference is 3,000 to 4,000. So that's again about a 50. It's more like a 30% increase. So it's only speeding up. And with the fact that now it's much easier to release games on Steam, as you just essentially need $100 to release a game, I'm going to guess the number is going to be insanely higher in 2018. I'm going to guess we're going to pass 10,000 games pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think it's a good thing that so many games are being released?
Well, I bet a majority of those games are just shovelware. So
yes, they are.
So in a way, yes, but then also in a way, no, because there could be some diamonds in the rough.
I wish it was easier to like filter games on Steam. I really wish there was like a way to say I want to see only games that have majority positive reviews that have came in the past year. Maybe it would be a completely different story then. Like suddenly you would see there was only 35 good games released in 2017. I know there were more, by the way, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the second piece of news, and I will leave this one mainly to you, as it is about the Nintendo Direct Mini. So, can you tell us everything there we need to know?
Alright, well, first off, they announced they're remaking The World Ends With You for the Nintendo Switch, which the original game came out on the DS about 10 years ago. So, if you're not played that, and you have a Switch,
maybe you
just
could
give it a try, and I'm gonna give it a...
Maybe you could like tell us a little bit what actually is the Nintendo Direct.
Okay, it's pretty much like a mini showcase of new games that they're announcing.
Okay. So it's like essentially like a window into a store, so you can go window shopping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so tell us.
But yeah, I'll say
everything there needs to know.
Alright, well, I would say the newest, like in terms of games that are getting ported over to the Switch, You got The World Ends With You Final Remix. Hyrule Warriors for the Switch as well, with some new added content. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is also coming to the Switch with a new playable character. Yes, got Mario Tennis Aces, which supposedly supposed to have a story mode.
Interesting.
Then you got Kirby Star Allies, which they finally got a release date for that, which is March 16th. And I'm trying to think of.
I think you're actually missing the biggest one.
No. I'm getting there.
Okay.
And then last off, they showed Dark Souls Remastered coming to the Switch.
On a little side note, it's also coming to the PC.
And PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. I think, because Dark Souls is coming to the Switch, I've been actually, thinking more and more about getting it for myself. So I have something to play on my vacations. On the other hand, I'm like, should I buy it?
Go.
Now, the question is, if I buy it, will my girlfriend be pissed at me at vacations? Because I would want to play. And, it seems like a great thing to, I could give her one controller and and we could play on the plane.
Yeah, there you go.
On the other hand, we actually want to spend time together, and when we're going to be going to Tunisia, for example, this year. I think maybe she would appreciate a romantic walk on the beach rather than playing games on the Switch in the room.
Well, I'll say this. Get the Switch for when you're on the plane or in the car on the way to your destination.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if it's going to be worth it. I might wait until, I don't know. Yeah, okay, it reconnected successfully. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it should come up. Yeah, it's back. So sorry about that little OBS issue. I don't know what exactly happened. But yeah, what I was saying is I might wait until it goes on a sale, and I would say about 20% cheaper than I might just buy it.
That's understandable.
Okay, let's move on to a little bit of silly news. Let's talk about the fact that Trump managed to say that the United States sold Norway some planes that exist only in the Call of Duty universe. So what actually happened were some talks with Norway, and Trump said in November we start delivering the first F-52s and F-35 fighter jets to Norway. We have a total of 52 and they will be delivered. They've delivered a number of them already, a little ahead of schedule. So on one hand, I find it hilarious that he managed to fit the number that fits a computer game. On the other hand, I don't think it was something wrong. I can very easily see why this happened. So, there was a total number of 52 planes. He had that number in his brain, that's why he said F-52.
Yeah.
But it is sort of hilarious that he managed to say the perfect number that actually exists in a Call of Duty game. By the way, I want to say I'm not anti-Trump. I'm not really pro-Trump. I'm not American, so I don't really give a shit in the end. But he's a great source of amusement because he speaks before he's ended thinking. And listening to those sort of people is always hilarious. Even if they're saying smart things, it really doesn't matter if they're saying something smart or dumb. Just because they just say whatever comes to their mind. And it falls out in a way that's completely hilarious. I'm sometimes like that, to be honest, as well.
We all are.
Yeah, but Trump is like the master of it. That's what makes him funny. Okay, that was literally just like a little tiny bit here that was fun. Let's move on to something serious. So, you remember the swatting incident that happened recently where a person died?
Yes.
So, the person who has probably called to the police has been charged with involuntary manslaughter, and he is facing up to 3 years in prison. So let me begin by this.
Not enough.
Yeah, that's one thing, but let me begin by this. Don't call the police to send a SWAT team on anybody. It's dumb, it's idiotic, and if you do it, you should go to prison, where I hope you will get ass raped.
Yes. Yes, don't drop the soap.
I literally hope that anybody who does this actually gets ass raped, because I know it's not nice of me, but I never claimed I'm a nice person. Sometimes people
same
think,
here.
yeah, I know sometimes people say, but you're nice. But I'm nice to you because it's good to be nice to people, but I'm not a nice person. Never ever forget that.
Yeah.
So, the person named Tyler Barris, who is 25, he is currently held in prison with $500,000 bail. I think that's actually a fair number.
Yeah.
And what he's facing is a maximum fine of $300,000 and up to 36 months in prison under the manslaughter charge. He also has some other charges against him, like working. I don't remember them exactly. Is it written here? No, it's not. So he essentially made the false claim to the police. That's, also a criminal charge. But yeah, in general, it's just horrible. Somebody died. I believe whenever there's a person dying involved, at the very least, it should be a 10-year prison sentence. Well, not necessarily that he has to, that I don't say he has to spend 10 years in prison, but that should be the maximum charge. He could probably spend less, and he will probably be let out of prison earlier if he doesn't do stupid shit in prison, and I don't think he will be doing stupid shit in prison, because he's not like a criminal, he's just a stupid idiot.
Yeah.
But seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand why people do this.
Some people are just stupid.
That's that's the only part of it I understand, but I would guess if somebody was stupid that they would do something, like they would go to the other person's house and punch them. Not send the police to their house. Or try to send the police to their house, as the person killed was not even involved in this.
Yeah, really.
It's just like... Once again, people, please don't ever do this. If you ever hear of somebody doing this, just send the police to them, so they can get arrested. Never ever make anybody do this, and if you just hear somebody thinking about this, say to them, don't do it, it's dumb, you're an idiot. And if needed to be, punch them. Seriously, I would rather have somebody get punched. Maybe you will have to pay a fine for it, but you could potentially save a person's life. And I think paying a fine for potentially saving somebody's life is very well worth it. Also, swatting in general seems to be an American thing. I never heard of an incident like this happening in Europe.
Huh.
And I think
only in America.
yeah, I actually think I know the reason why. It's because your police is trained horribly.
I agree.
Here, if you want to work for the police, You have to go through a year-long training. You have to pass tons of tests, including psychological tests. And if you don't pass them, they will just not take you. On top of that, our police, well, they obviously have guns, but they don't have, like, you know, guns that can shoot 20 bullets in a second. And if you want to...
and also they don't have...
Mm-hmm.
And also, I bet, over there, they don't have the shoot first, ask questions later mentality.
No, they don't, obviously. And the last thing is, obviously, our country is smaller, and we only have one team that would be an equivalent to your SWAT teams, because you have a lot of them. But obviously, that's fair because you're bigger. And like taking a SWAT team that would be located in Washington to New York would not really be the solution. In Czech Republic, you can literally drive a car anywhere, and you're there in 2 hours if you drive fast enough. But I remember reading that if you want to be a part of the Czech SWAT team, you need to have at least 10 years of police experience. You have to pass another set of even higher physical and psychological tests. And they say they have about 2,000 applicants per year. On average, they take one every 5 years in. So it's super hard to get into. It's called Urna, which on one hand, it's hilarious. It's essentially, if you take the acronym as a word, it means a coffin. So that's hilarious. But on the other hand, our team is actually good. And we used it once in the past 5 years. Because we just don't, you know, if somebody would claim, so there's a hostage situation, first the normal police would go there, check it out. Like, even from a distance, you know, they would like try to use binoculars to look into the house. Not that they would first just ram into the house and see whether it was warranted later. Because if they did that, they could get sued, and they don't want to get sued. So for that, so yeah, I just don't understand this phenomenon at all. Like, it seems super dumb. You shouldn't just send your SWAT team without reasonable evidence that they are needed.
Yeah.
Okay, for last time, don't SWAT people.
Idiots.
If you do, I hope you get ass raped.
Yep.
Okay.
The prison sentence will be enough if he gets ass raped.
At least 36 times, once per month.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on from this horrible topic into something a bit more optimistic. So, there was a new record set on Twitch for the amount of concurrent viewers on a single stream. The record was been set by a streamer called Tyler1 with his return to League of Legends. As well, Tyler has been quite infamous in the League of Legends community. As let me quote, so he was banned for a year, and he was banned for extremely toxic behavior, trolling his teammates, and producing strategies based entirely on trolling his teammates. So, you know, he was just a troll, and he was probably very not fun to play with. So he was banned in the spring of 2016. There was like calls to free Tyler1 present in a lot of Twitch chats, and Riot finally caved, and he returned to Twitch on January 8th, 2018. And what followed was Twitch history. There was a point of time he had 4 subscribers per second.
Dang.
Yeah, that's because people were just waiting for him to come back. Uh, he had about, on average, about 245,000 concurrent viewers. At the peak, he had pretty much around 400,000 concurrent viewers. Those numbers are insane. I will say this. Many Czech television stations would be happy for those numbers. Very happy.
Same here in America.
So yeah, I know, like, I can imagine many TV shows don't get this sort of viewership in the US, especially on smaller channels. Obviously, you know, things like The Simpsons or South Park get much, much more. But still, this is a single person just being an idiot on the internet. I really hope he doesn't get banned early on. I don't think his numbers will ever be as high again. As, you know, it's much easier to, when you're like, I'm back, baby! To have that sort of number. But hopefully in the future, there will be somebody who will pass 500,000 and then maybe even 1 million.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I know,
if you
it could happen.
Can you imagine the Twitch chat with 400,000 people in there?
No, I could not.
That would be literally, for once, this word makes sense, unreadable. It would scroll faster than you could read. It would scroll faster than you could even, like, notice there something was written. And I'm just going to assume the Twitch chat was fully shit. There wasn't a single interesting, sensible thing said in that sort of chat. Okay, let's move on to the next piece of news. We're back to Electronic Arts. Yay!
Yay!
Why? EA, why are you doing this? Why? Just be good for a month. I beg you. So what EA has done this time is that a patent has been discovered for a matchmaking system which is called Engagement Optimized Matchmaking, EOMM, which claims to aim to use matchmaking in order to keep players engaged in a game for longer. That sounds okay, until you actually look what it uses. So, playstyle. Playstyle, that seems fine, right? Tyler. Sportsmanship, that also seems fine, right?
Yes.
Skills, that seems like the most important thing, right?
Yes, it does.
And sadly, the last thing it takes into account, oh, not the last thing, there are other factors, obviously, is the willingness to spend money. Are you serious now, EA? Have you learned nothing? You lost $3 billion. Do you just not care about money at this point? Do you just want to be evil for evil's sake?
Or insane for insanity's sake?
I don't understand anymore. The biggest reason this is a concern to people is it seems this matchmaking system will be used in the upcoming game Anthem, which many people, including me, have been looking forward to, as it seemed really nice. On one hand, we really don't know whether there will be loot boxes and these things in Anthem, though I'm just going to say yes, because at this point EA seems to be literally dumb and not capable of learning.
Yeah.
But why?
Say goodbye to BioWare if that's the case.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And let's go to our last piece of news, which is Also in a similar kind of boat, so there's some rumors saying that the new Xbox One achievement system will introduce loot boxes. Why, Microsoft? I understand these sort of systems...
Don't turn to EA.
Yeah, no. You know, on one hand, I understand these sort of systems take time to develop, build, and present. So, these sort of things have been worked on for probably at least half a year, if not longer. So, they have been worked on long before all the loot box scandals have taken place. But once these scandals have taken place, you should have been like, you know what, that idea we were working on, let's scrap it. It doesn't seem like a good idea to present it anymore. Also, what should be really mentioned, this is only a rumor at this point. But what it seems to be is that Microsoft is testing a system called Careers, which should change the way players interact with Xbox Live. The career system should allow you to level up, earn prestige ranks, and also reportedly to unlock loot crates. These loot crates should contain things like cosmetic items that can be used inside the avatar system that is being ready to release. The question is, maybe we don't really know what will be inside these loot boxes. Maybe there will be like, you get a 20% discount for the next game you buy. You get one free game. You get a $5 card you can use to spend. Though, if these things will be inside, I will guess that they will be incredibly rare, making it only much worse as players will try to get loot boxes, and so they could get these things. The only thing that's making it sort of okay in my mind is that at this point it doesn't seem you will have to spend money to get these quote-unquote loot boxes.
Yeah.
Still, I just don't like the loot box system at all, as it's essentially an addiction machine. It's essentially an addiction machine.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
You know my science blog, right? So
yes.
Just yesterday, I posted an article about a nasal spray that they're trying to develop in Finland to battle gambling. You know, to battle gambling addiction.
Huh.
I wonder if there will be a point where you will have to buy this nasal spray to play games, to not get addicted to them.
Chances are that could be a possibility.
If that will be the case, that's a sad, sad future for gaming.
Yes.
Okay, and that's pretty much it for the news this week. Do you have anything you would like to add on the news sort of front?
No. We pretty much covered what was covered in the past few weeks.
Yeah, I tried to take the big things. Okay, let's move on to gaming recommendations, which will be very, very short, as there's nothing coming out. I have one recommendation for a game called Nantucket. So this is an indie strategy game which is set in the golden age of American whaling. And I will want to say one thing. I will not personally play this as I don't enjoy strategy games. They're way too complex for me and I don't have the patience for them. But this game looks visually stunning. There are so many images of beautiful ships, maps. If you're that sort of guy who likes indie strategy games, this will probably be completely up your alley. It's going to release on January 18th on Steam. It will be available for €13 or $70, or for 14 euros. No, that's pounds. The pound sign and the euro sign is so similar, I always get them mixed up. So $18, that's the price point. So it's not the cheapest game, but because it's a strategy, I'm going to say there will probably be enough content inside the game for you to have fun with. Do you got anything to recommend?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
Yeah, that's why I said this segment will be short as fuck. Okay,
Yep.
and
But I'll
mm-hmm.
but I'll have some next week though.
Yeah, hopefully me too. And with that being said, I guess that's pretty much it for this week. You want to commence with the shilling?
Yes. You can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer. You can find me on Steam at Tygergamer.
And you can find myself as Kralizec Gaming on YouTube and as Kralizec on Steam. Either way, we hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please consider giving a thumbs up here on YouTube, subscribing to this channel. If you're watching this on Steam, be sure to give us an upvote and follow our blog. Either way, leave us some comments, tell us what we should improve, what do you think of this week's gaming news. Also, be sure to tune in every single day as we provide daily gaming news to you. Every single day. I know I said that twice. Okay, and with that being said, that's it. So, see you guys later with more gaming content.
Yeah, have a good one.